Hello everyone, and welcome to my Week 8 team builder against the Green Bay Pikas and the D Winchell and the Green Bay Pikas. I accidentally started on that screen for the first time in maybe ever. I forgot to come here. But he has a team of Kyron Black, Rotom Wash, Florigis, Deblade, Miltank, Sandslash, what's his face? Aerodactyl Mega, Savali, Tentacruel, Emboar, and Celebi. So, this week I have a team of Bronzong, Breloom, Archeops, Landorus, Incarnate, Lantern, and Celesteela. So, of course, the big threat, looming threat on this team is the Kyron Black, which is able to really just come in and wall break with incredible power. So obviously you never want to let that thing in, and I do have a lot of tools on my team to prevent that from happening, as we'll see. So first off, I'll start off with my Bronzong. It's Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Shadow Ball, Toxic, which allows me to the Gyro Ball allows me to hit both Kyron Black and Aerodactyl very hard. Interesting enough, with Gyro Ball against Kyron, I can determine whether it's Scarf or not, because it'll do more or less based on its speed stat determined by its Scarf, which is kind of cool. I have rocks on this because I could possibly set up rocks, and rocks are very good against this team, especially for keeping Kyron out, because Stealth Rocks on Kyron puts him in range of Breloom. And Toxic and Shadow Ball just for moves to kind of threaten things from coming in. Shadow Ball especially for the Doublade, because Doublade is a massive threat to my team. With this investment, it's not... I'll probably actually clean it up a bit in a second, so it's a bit more purposeful, but more kind of just mixed bulk, so that I can take hits well from both the physical and special side, because Kyurem can attack from both the physical and special side, and this doesn't get 2 KO'd by anything by Kyurem. Actually, does Mold Breaker work for ground moves? Because then a ground move could work. I don't know if... Or Terravolt work for Z moves. A Z ground move could possibly kill me, 2 KO me, but I've got Shuka. So, and I don't think that's really a set that you ever want to bring, but I guess it's a possibility. So yeah, that's the Bronzong, or I guess Shuka. I'm expecting him to expect me to run Levitate to counter Archeop, or to counter Aerodactyl. So I'm running Heat Proof just in case he wants to run Fire Fang on the Aerodactyl. I can just take that a bit better, and it can help against Emboar possibly. And I don't think he will Earthquake a Bronzong with Aerodactyl. It's just too risky without knowing. And I have the Shuka to eat up an Earthquake from, or an Earth Power from Kyurem, and Kyurem's going to Earth Power this no matter what because he didn't care about Levitate in the first place. Next up is my Breloom, which is actually a fantastic win condition in this game, and extremely hard for his team to deal with. What switches into it is basically Celebi. I did originally have Fury Cutter on, and then it turns out Fury Cutter and Technician don't work together. And then I put on HP Bug, and I liked HP Bug for a little bit, but then I decided, because HP Bug's Technician boosted, and even though Breloom's special attack isn't great, with HP Bug, or with Technician, it ends up hitting very hard. But then I decided I was really weak to Miltank, and this set doesn't 2-hit KO Miltank, and possibly Helmet Miltank could really screw me over. So I decided Drain Punch would really make my team much less weak to Miltank, just sitting around and doing nothing the whole game and toxicking stuff. So yeah, Mach Punch kills Arrow if it's about 50, kills Kyurem if it's at 75 or below. I am running a ton of speed, enough to outrun Celebi if it doesn't invest in speed, and Rotoms who are not very speedy. I think he has to run a plus speed nature to outrun this. I think it's 237 that Celebi hits, either that or 236 uninvested. And so I thought it's possible that he might run something to speed creep me, speed creeping a no speed Celebi, so I just maxed it out. I was just yeah, whatever. Put it into Adamant. But it's extremely hard for him to deal with this. Which switches into Mach Punch, Florigis, but that gets smacked up the following turn by Bullet Seed, which is doing 50 with 2 hits, and possibly Okoing if I get all the hits. Tentacruel, which is getting absolutely blasted by Bullet Seed, and Celebi, which is a little bit of a problem. I can still Drain Punch it, but it doesn't have a super good matchup against my team. There's really not any specific set it can run that would really give my team troubles. So we'll see about that. But I do have Bronzong and Celesteela, which really don't care too much about Celebi. Obviously, Doublade can switch into all of my moves, but Doublade can get Spored. It's not faster than me, so it's really never going to do anything. It could possibly Shadow Sneak me before it goes, but even then, I'm doing a lot of damage, and I'll happily take a Doublade going to sleep for like 40% of my Breloom. Next up is my Archeops, which is Choice Scarf. Allows me to outrun Scarf, Kyurem, Black, any of his reasonable Scarfers. Adamant means it's adamant, which means its Stone Edge always kills Kyurem, or at least always kills it 20% of the time. And U-turn plus knockoff can really kind of put him into a vortex where he can't really escape from it. I'm expecting him to have Defog Rotom, but we'll see. But Defog Rotom makes a lot of sense here, and that would cut off my be able to really keep rocks off the field because it's able to come in on and beat both my Landorus and my Bronzong. But at the same time, it lets in my Lantern, which we'll get to later, is going to be providing tons of momentum for my team. But knockoff allows me to hit the Blade and knock off its Eviolite. It's a massive threat, and I could definitely may have to sacrifice my Archeops to knock that off because it's just that big of a threat. Next is my Landorus. It outruns his entire team besides Aerodactyl, fun fact. Fastest he has is base 100, base 100, base 100. Everything else is slower. So just barely chip over the 328 to 330, and outruns everyone. Stone Edge, so I can hit Rotom and Aerodactyl and Kyurem all fairly hard. Stealth Rock because it's amazing against his team, and I should be able to use this to set them up somewhat reliably. And U-turn to keep him in a vortex and keep Rotom from coming in. And when Rotom comes into defog, I'm able to just U-turn out and negate any doubles he could possibly make and just keep the momentum on him while he's trying to defog my rocks away. Hopefully, if it all goes well, he'll be put in a scenario where he really just cannot do anything to break out of this vortex. Next up is my Lantern. I'm kind of thinking about changing it to Leftovers. I'll have to see. Just because in mocks it's been I haven't really had the Shuka end up being useful, but theoretically it's there so I can take a hit from Kyurem if I ever have to. Take a hit from and get a free pivot into my Archeops or anything really. I can take a Aerodactyl Earthquake if I ever have to. I can take a Kyurem Fusion Bolt if I ever have to, and really use any of those, or not Fusion Bolt, a Kyurem Earth Power, and pivot into something, and give them a free switch, which is really nice. But this is going to partner very well with my Breloom, because Breloom is very hard for him to deal with, and if my Lantern is continuously coming in on, he's going to get put in a very bad situation. Rest, Sleep, Talk is just so I can keep my health back and continuously just or get my health back and continuously pivot throughout the entire game. And Soak is an interesting tech, but it allows me to negate the Blade Stab and make it a bit less of an issue for the rest of my team and take a hit from it, and then thereafter Volt Switch on it and threaten it heavily. And at the same time, it gives me a way to deal with Miltank sitting around. I can just soak it and then Volt Switch it and put it in a scenario where it either has to take a hefty chunk or go into or switch out and give me the initiative because I will be Volt Switching. Lastly is my Celesteela, which has a theoretical good matchup, but he has two very solid checks in Rotom Wash and Miltank, and then Scarf Kyurem Fusion Bolt is also a serious issue. But with this set, I originally had Z-Grass to bop the Rotom, and then I changed to Wakan so that I can, so that a Scarf Kyurem couldn't finish me off if I was able to put Rotom in range of Seed Bomb. But then thereafter, I realized that Miltank was also just a massive problem for this set. So I eventually decided the Z-Fight was the best because it could hit the Rotom fairly hard, but also hit Miltank incredibly hard and keep Miltank from really switching into this and stopping it, which is probably a more likely switch-in than Rotom, if I'm honest. I'm still a bit worried about Scarf Kyurem. I'll have to scout for it and see what it is, that kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see. But it does have potential to win the game, especially if his team starts to get whittled towards the end. With this speed investment, what is this speed investment? I made this team a little bit ago. I can't remember exactly what this was. Is it Arrow? Wait a second. Does that? I feel like this doesn't outrun Arrow, and I need to fix that because I don't think that does. So I'll fix it off camera. But yeah, that's the team. And I'll see you in the battle.